I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting of April 12, 2018 to order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask Clerk Sinski for a roll call, please.
Mayor Gunther.
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Addington.
Here.
Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Barry.
Here.
Trustee Guzzo.
Here.
Trustee Little.
Here.
Trustee Nero.
Here.
Attorney Zemanek.
Here.
Manager May.
Here.
Finance Director Parker.
Here. Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. The first item of business, we have open forum. Is there anybody here? This is an opportunity. If there's something on the agenda you'd like to address the board, now's the time. If not, then our chief's shaking his head. I'll close open forum, and we'll move on to reports. This is one of my favorite things to do since I've become mayor, is to recognize our own residents for their accomplishments. And tonight we have two huge accomplishments and two individuals who have participated in the Winter Special Olympics, and they're medal award winners. And I'd ask staff from C-SPAR to come up and talk a little bit about those two individuals.
Sure. Thanks for having us tonight. It's always a good day for C-SPAR when we get to be recognized by one of our member entities, especially for the accomplishments of our athletes. My name is Aaron Herthy. I'm a recreation coordinator at C-SPAR. I am primarily charged with planning and executing our Special Olympics training programs. We train approximately 100 athletes throughout the year in 16 different Special Olympics sports. We have about 27 different supplemental sports programs centered around those 16 sports, so we're pretty busy year-round with training athletes from our communities in this particular endeavor. So it's always a good thing to be able to bring up our guys like Michael and William. I'm here to talk mainly about William, and I'll turn the floor over to Greg, and he'll talk about Michael. For those that don't know, Special Olympics usually has some sort of local competition. At that local competition, athletes earn gold medals, and if they do, they qualify for a state competition. So these state competitions have become a really big deal for our athletes over the almost 50 years now of Special Olympics being in Illinois. It's also a measure of success for us as agencies that host training programs like our winter sports programs, as the more athletes and teams that we can send to these events, the more successful our programs appear. So I'm going to talk briefly about William. William is a very gentle, polite, in demeanor character that we have at C-SPAR. William is a very voracious athlete when he gets on the field or in the pool or on the snow in the various sports that he does. William has found sustained success in just about every sport that he's done, his primary sports being bocce, swimming, and various winter sports. We're going to focus mainly on the winter sports today. William has probably had his most shining accomplishment in the sport of cross-country skiing. Unfortunately, cross-country skiing is no longer a sport in Illinois, having been discontinued back in 2017. But the 8 years previous to that, William had qualified each year for those 8 years in cross-country skiing in the 500-meter and 1,000-meter events. These are some of the more longer distance events that they can compete in. He pretty much dominated the 500-meter event in the state of Illinois. He was by far the fastest skier for those 8 years. I think at least 6 of them, we have documentation of 6 of those years of him earning a gold medal in that particular event. And when he wasn't earning a gold medal in the 1,000-meter event, he would also either place with a a second or third place finish in the 1,000. So he pretty much dominated those two sports for those 8 years. Unfortunately, this past year, William had to kind of change courses. He decided to pick up snowshoeing as his winter sports endeavor. He again chose to do distance events, which very few athletes do. He did the 800 as well as the 1,600-meter event. He easily won a gold medal in those at the regional qualifiers, sending him for the 9th straight year this past February to the state Winter Games. At Winter Games, he did earn a gold medal in the 800 and earned silver in the 1600 meters. So there's some room for improvement, and I know he'll take the same passion and drive he always has to try to improve his times in those two sports. But it was great to see him take a chance at doing a different sport, one that he hadn't done in many, many years. Over the past couple of years, William has also shown an increased interest in downhill skiing. He would watch the recreational skiers at some of these ski hills where we would practice. He would watch his peers practice and compete at these state competitions. And both Greg and I knew that once we got him on downhill skis, he would be successful at that as well. He was not able to compete this past year, but he was able to get on skis for one of our training trips to Chestnut Mountain in Galena. In those 3 days, William not only was able to put his equipment on his own, he was able to navigate flat terrain, ski independently down some of the smaller hills, as well as independently return up the chairlift. So those are some of the major skills that are required for them to do competitive downhill skiing, and he was able to do it after 3 days. So he also was able to demonstrate some of the basic slaloming skills that will be required for him to compete next year. So we have high hopes that 2019 will bring some more gold medals his way and opportunities to compete at the state Winter Games. And I expect he'll find success in either sport if he does either or both. So, but he doesn't do these programs alone. Obviously, there's more than just 2 athletes doing winter sports with C-SPAR's programs. One of his teammates is Michael Duffy. Michael Duffy is a downhill skier for us. He's been downhill skiing for quite a few years, and he's coached by Greg. Greg's going to briefly give a little synopsis about his accomplishments over his last 6 years of competing, and thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Aaron. Well, ever since Michael joined us skiing, like Aaron said, it's been years. As I call him, his nickname's Duffman. So with the name of Duffy, he's got to be Duffman. But Duffman likes to do one thing, and that's go fast, and he always has. So it's been a great pleasure skiing with him. He first started off wanting to ski on a family vacation to go cross-country skiing. He saw the chairlift from across the way, and he just headed for it. And oddly enough, I think it's a very telling story because he ended up bringing his entire family with him, and now the entire family goes on yearly downhill ski trips to Colorado. And that's just one little story that I think really symbolizes how much of a leader Mike is. He follows his passions. He knows what he wants. He's a very, very smart individual, very driven. And that's some of the things that speak to Mike's just overall character that I just really respect. Michael was for many years skiing with a harness with us. That was holding him back from competing in the ski qualifiers Aaron alluded to. And so he wasn't eligible to go downstate. About 6 years ago, we just had to take the leap and take him off the harness and just see how good he was on his own and trusted him. And it turns out that Michael is a tremendous athlete, an incredible skier. The balance, the speed, the edging, the carving, everything, he can do it all. And he loves to go fast too. So, of course, he's been an excellent skier for many, many years with us now, with 6 years going to Winter Games. Every year since we took him off the harness, he's gone to state games. He's medaled. He's won a couple of gold medals. He always comes back with some hardware. He has his bronze medal on today. That's what he won, the giant slalom, just this last year. And it's just been a great privilege for me to coach Michael. He was our 2016, C-SPAR's 2016 Athlete of the Year Award, which is a competition, not a competition, but it really is, it's recognition from all of the athletes that come from C-SPAR. So that's what we think of Michael's accomplishments and achievements. And it's just my privilege and pleasure to be with Michael. I think he's one of the most interesting people I've ever met, and I love spending time with him. And I'm just thankful that skiing has brought us together, and for me, that I get to ski with Michael. So, thank you.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to call him up here in a second, but the chief, would you come on up to the only fundraiser we do as a police department is for Special Olympics. And statewide, all the police departments are supporting that. So last year we
So last year, we raised $13,700, which was up from our previous 2 years of roughly $5,000 a year. So we've made huge strides in upping our participation and in our fundraising efforts for Illinois Special Olympics. Can I talk about last night?
Yes.
Since it's so fresh on everyone's minds, including the fire department. Last night we had a fundraiser at the Westmont Senior High School, in which it was a volleyball fundraiser for Illinois Special Olympics, and we had a round-robin volleyball tournament. 2 teams from School District 201, and then a police department team and a fire department team. It was a awesome event. It was tons of positive energy. It was very well received. We don't have the final figure yet, but we raised a considerable amount of money, and police department won. We were on champions. The fire department, yet again, did not make it out of the semifinal round, but I promised DC Riley next year we'll face him in the semifinals, so at least we can have one shot at the fire department. But it's a total team effort from the school district to the fire department, the police department, our FOP lodge through the police department. So we do it all for you, and we're going to keep on doing it. We have the Cop on Top coming up in the next couple weeks too, early in May. So that's our next special events fundraiser, and we look forward to many years.
Yep, and it's a good cause, and I'd like to call William. Let's see, I got their awards here. Yep, Michael and William, if you can come on up and. This is an appreciation award. There we go. Michael, this is for you. Award for your bronze medal.
Right here. 1, 2, and one more. Here we go. Gotcha. Should I get
You
a
wanna
shout out
get-
for everybody?
get
And
the
the
families
coaches,
up.
families and coaches? Absolutely.
Mom and dad. Great job, Mike. I haven't seen your dad in a while. Oh, you can- Go by the sun, up in the air.
All right. And everybody look right here. Ready? 1, 2, and one more. All right, we're set.
Again, thank you, congratulations. Again, that's quite an honor for our community to have 2 athletes that have competed at the Special Olympics and come home with medals. So again, congratulations. I have additional report, and I'm going to ask Mr. McIntyre, who's here to come to the podium and update everyone on the Sister City program.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. As we had discussed in the previous Administration Committee meeting, a delegation from Westmont went to Taiwan last month. It was the second trip to Taiwan, and it was all about our sister city relationship with Hsinchu County. And Ambassador Yang did an amazing job organizing that trip and all the details. We had numerous meetings. The focus was economic development, and we're looking forward to a lot of economic development opportunities coming back to Westmont. Additionally, at the conclusion of that trip, there was an announcement that Magistrate Hsu and a delegation from Hsinchu County will come back to Westmont in July. So we're looking forward to their return trip. And then in addition,
Well, you have a special guest, I know that.
yes, we do.
and
We
I-
have Wei-Zan Wang and Jenny from Tico Cultural Center, and they are going to talk about an upcoming event which will be at Westmont High School.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Culture Center of Tico office, it's our great pleasure to be here with you, me and Jenny, to present you the Taiwanese American Heritage Week performance 2018 this year. We are going to present you the full card, this performance of arts. The name is Formosa Circus Arts, and they will perform in the Westmont High School auditorium on May 12th, Saturday, 4 p.m. I think the program is about 90 minutes long. This group was delegated by the Overseas Community Affairs Council, which is my headquarters in Taiwan. 2 years ago, they performed in the downtown Chicago, and it's a great success. So this year we are very proud to present them to you again, and this time we choose Westmont for our community here. And this performance is okay. They are sponsoring by our several Taiwanese American society and group here, including the Taiwanese Association of America Greater Chicago Chapter, Formosa Association for Public Affairs Illinois Chapter, North America Taiwanese Professors Association North Central Chapter, the Midwest Hakka Association, Taiwan School in Chicagoland, North American Taiwanese Medical Association Chicago Chapter, North America Taiwanese American Engineers Association Chicago Chapter. I think this is a great performance for all you to enjoy, and wish you will come to this performance and join us to celebrate Taiwanese American Heritage Week and Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in May. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do have to say, I've attended, I think they've had 3 groups come before, and they tour the United States, and they only go to 10, 12 places, and Westmont is one of those. And it's a lot to do with the TICO Center being located there, and the performance. These are, I want to say professional dancers, but it's a professional performance, and if you haven't seen it, it's a great opportunity, and it's free.
Yes, it's free.
Even better, it's free. So at 4 o'clock at the high school on that Saturday. So please, we'll remind you, bring family and attend. Thank you.
The only thing that I'll add is last year was our 3rd year doing something for Heritage Week. And each year as the word gets out to our local audience, the quality of these events, the audience is growing. So last year we probably had about 650 people in a 700 person auditorium. So I know a lot of people came up to us and said they've never seen the auditorium that packed. So it's been awesome, and definitely encourage everybody to come out.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Chico will be sponsoring a date to be determined later, I think, with the Chamber, their Family Fun Fest, which they run at their building on 63rd Street, and all the proceeds from that get donated to our Chamber Scholarship Program. So they're really active in our community, and thank you for coming tonight. And that's all I have. And I'll move on to Trustee Bear. Oh, Clerk Simsky. I always get Clerk Simsky. She just gave me a look. Clerk Simsky.
I just want to remind everybody that the Rotary Club Reverse Raffle is scheduled for April 27th at 6 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus Hall, 25 North Cass. It's a very important fundraiser for Rotary. It's for our student scholarships that are given out to any Westmont resident senior that applies, and they go through the process. So, and there are a bunch of us here that are Rotarians. The mayor is, I am, Trustee Barry is, Larry Forsberg in the back is. So we have several, Dave Weiss is, Tom Mulhern is, so we have a lot that are Rotarians. Westmont Community Awards Dinner is scheduled for April 30th at the Hilton at 6:00 p.m. Please RSVP at westmontchamber.com. Many special recognition awards will be presented, including Citizen of the Year, Business of the Year, Educator of the Year, and Rotary will give a resident a Paul Harris Award. So those are all. Larry, do you have anything to add? Okay. And lastly, well, no, not lastly. I want to congratulate, I told the board this tonight, my little deputy clerk, Alicia, that I think the world of, was elected treasurer of the DuPage County Municipal Clerks starting in June. So I was very proud of her. And then I need to wish our attorney belated birthday wishes because it was Tuesday, wasn't it?
Thanks.
So happy birthday.
Yeah, so- And that's all. Then I'll move on to trustee Barry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things. Our next economic development meeting is scheduled for May 2nd at 9 a.m., and we meet here at the Village Hall in the conference room next door. There's going to be an exciting presentation on a proposed project for 63rd and Cass. I think all of us, we are constantly questioned on what's going on with 63rd and Cass, and so the public is more than invited to, again, May 2nd at 9 a.m. here at the Village Hall. Also, we have a ribbon cutting coming up for Zazzo's Pizza and Catering, which is scheduled for Tuesday, April 17th from 5 to 6 p.m., and that's at 200 West Ogden. And preliminary reports from Zazzo's, a lot of great feedback. Everyone is talking about how great the pizza is and how good the people are there. So we encourage everyone to come out April 17th from 5 to 6 p.m. Also, we have the Pet Promenade and Party in the Park. And Touch a Truck program, kite flying, and this is all going to be at Ty Warner Park on May 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. This event has grown year after year and keeps getting better. Larry, anything that I'm missing on there that I need to add? Okay, very good. That's all I have today, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Guzzo.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I would like to invite up Chief Gunther to talk about the Drug Take-Back Day. Putting you on the spot.
He's got a
Thank you.
I was switching the order up a little bit. See if you guys are on your toes. No.
Well, that's okay. I will improvise. We have our annual Drug Take-Back Day on Saturday, April 28th, from 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon at the Westmont Police Department. For this year, we have added a second location, which will be Mariano's at 150 63rd Street. We do this annually, and this is through sponsored by the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA. The prescription medication that we will accept is unused and unwanted and expired prescription medications. We will only accept sharps if they are properly contained at the Westmont Police Department. So if you have sharps and they're in a sharps container, bring them to the station. Mariano's will not accept those. We will not accept radioactive medication, liquids, creams, or EpiPens. Last year, we usually bring in several hundred pounds of unused prescriptions. It's good to get that off the streets. It's good to get that out of the water supply rather than dumping it down, your sink or flushing it down the toilet. We'll take it. We'll dispose of it properly.
I have heard a lot of good feedback from everybody, like some of my neighbors and some of the elderly residents, that they really like that. So thank you for doing that. And while you're up there, would you mind talking about Cop on the Rooftop?
Sure. The annual Cop on the Rooftop is on May 18th from 5 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, give or take. Last year was a little chilly. Believe it or not, in May, I was up there with a parka. We do have both Dunkin' Donuts locations covered, so I will be at the 63rd Street Dunkin' Donuts, and Deputy Chief Gruen will be on top of the Ogden Dunkin' Donuts.
Great. Hopefully the weather will be nice.
Hopefully, not too hot, not too cold. Dial up a nice 60-degree day would be good.
Put our order in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now, moving on to the fire department. As everyone may be aware or may not be aware, the fire department will be celebrating its 95th anniversary celebration. I'd like to invite up Chief Weiss to talk about the upcoming events and all the fun stuff that they're going to have planned for this year.
Thanks, Trustee Guzzo. The fire department is in the mix of creating a committee. We have over a dozen people attended our first meeting. This is employees from the department, some of the trustees, some citizens, some business people. Everybody's coming together. If you're interested in wanting to be part of that committee to help us celebrate our 95th anniversary, you can contact Chris Hardy at 630-981-6424. We did a little brainstorming and a lot of great suggestions come forward, but one of the things that we definitely agreed on is that we want to start with the pet promenade in May and the Red, Right, and Barbecue and start doing a little bit of promotions. We're going to have some banners made and we're going to display those banners and save the date type cards that were a good suggestion to come out. We're going to promote it during the Memorial Day Parade every Tuesday night at Car Show Night. We're going to be doing that. 4th of July, the Taste of Westmont. The Fire Truck Night, we're inviting the retired personnel from the fire department back, all that we have names and addresses and contact information for. Have a special parade that night in celebration. Our 9/11 ceremony, homecoming parade, and then on October 13th, which is the actual day of our anniversary and the day of our open house, we'll have that celebration open house at Frank Johannick's headquarters station on South Cass from 1 to 3 o'clock. Some of the other things that came out is they're looking at creating some fire department trading cards that feature Westmont personnel apparatus on them, moments of history from the fire department on these cards. And one idea came out about doing a possible rain barrel decorating contest in our downtown area and stuff, how we used to display some other towns display things. And we're looking to do a coloring contest and discuss all our ideas at the next 100th anniversary committee meeting.
Great. Would you like to also touch on the kids' safety camp?
Yes, kids safety camp will be offered again this year. Police and fire department sponsors that safety camp. That'll be on June 6th and 7th. And July 31st and August 1st from 9 to 3 p.m. each day. It's 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And sign up will be online soon.
Great.
And I got one last thing. It's not on your list. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's up here or not. Larry left a bunch of pictures up here. Here he is. So Jenny Bevitar from our clerk's office and communications contacted me on Monday and asked if she could bring a little boy by last night to the firehouse around 6:30 for a visit to the firehouse. I said, absolutely. This is a 10-year-old boy from Make-A-Wish Foundation, and it's his first visit to a fire department. And he just happened to come on a night that we were at a third alarm fire in Hinsdale. A lot of our apparatus was gone. We had change of quarters apparatus there. We had some callback personnel. But what happened with this, they made an evening out of it. They gave him a tour. They did a bunch of pictures in the fire trucks, showed him the back of the ambulance. He was enjoying himself so much and stuff. They decided to order pizzas, and the firemen paid for the pizzas. He got to eat. He got to eat with... up there now. You see it right there. You got to eat with all the firemen and stuff at the table, pizza with them. He wanted to tell some jokes. They had some conversation with the firemen. It was just turned out to be a great evening with all the activity that we had going on. And I just want to thank Jenny for calling me and bringing him by. And he said it was his best day that he's ever had. And coming to the firehouse, so we gave him the royal treatment, and he really enjoyed himself, so I wanted to bring that up to you and show you that.
Wonderful.
Chief, I got one quick question. In the history of the fire department, since the village is 96 years old and the fire department's 95, what did we do the first year? Buckets?
Well,
Have you researched that?
If you ask me that in 2 weeks, I might be able to tell you that,
Okay.
because Trustee Guzzo cleaned out her father's home over the weekend and the attic and brought me 8 boxes of history.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I'm going through those boxes at Station 2. And so there's a lot of history in there.
Great.
My father, for those of you who know him, saved everything. And I'm really glad that I'm getting it to the fire department, and hopefully a lot of it'll get moved on to the Historical Society. I have the 40th anniversary, there was some planning notes in there from the 40th anniversary, which are in one of those boxes, and strategic plans, budgets. It was just really great. So I'm really confident that you guys will be able to use quite a bit of that moving forward.
Yes,
and
we will.
with the Historical Society too, especially since our 100th anniversary is coming up. So, yeah, it was to look at over the years, there's some pictures and everything, and it just, when you're looking at it growing up in the fire service, you'd see that piece of equipment, that apparatus, and I'm like, I remember that. So that's great. And now I have a great opportunity. Tonight we want to recognize Chief Dave Weiss for his redesignation as the Chief Fire Officer, CFO, by the Commission on Professional Accreditation. This designation is the highest level of certification for the fire department personnel. The CFO designation is evaluated in 4 areas: professional development, professional contributions, active association memberships, and community involvement. Chief Weiss has been an active member of the Illinois Fire Service community for over 45 years. After retiring from Lyle Woodward Fire District as a battalion chief in 2006, Chief Weiss was hired as the Westmont Fire Chief, where he had worked part-time for 17 years. Under his leadership, the Westmont Fire Department received its first ISO Class 1 rating from the Insurance Services Organization in 2017. In addition to his CFO designation, Chief Weiss possesses an associate's degree in fire science, a Bachelor of Arts in Public Service, the National Fire Academy's Executive Fire Officer certification, as well as numerous other professional certifications. The village congratulates Chief Weiss on this recent accomplishment, and we'd like to thank you for your dedication to excellence.
One up the police department.
Thank you very much.
And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Trustee Addington.
Yes, sir. A few things this evening. Thank you. First one is just I guess, a request for everyone. I think a lot of people know that in the afternoons, I drive a bus for the Park District, picking kids up at schools, and they go over for daycare or afternoon kids club. I have had in the last several weeks, several instances where I have observed drivers who have tried to pass stopped school buses, whether it be a bus like our Park District bus or even a yellow bus that's loading or unloading kids on the right side, on the passenger side. You know, folks, that's where the kids get on and off. And I've had at least 2 of them have been here at our train tracks when all buses are required to stop and, open their doors to be sure that there's not. Now, if a kid jumps out for some reason and you're trying to pass that bus on the right side, there's going to be a problem. So I'm just asking everybody, please be careful, and please, I think it's also illegal, isn't it, Chief, to pass on the right, but, please watch out. That's our kids, and if you have to pass on the left, but you shouldn't be passing in anyway when they're stopped and they have their lights flashing. That's just a request. The next thing is for Lions Club, we have a lot going on. Next Tuesday, the 17th, the Lions Club will be at Mays Lake because it's their senior health fair day, and we will be having the hearing bus there from 9 until 12:30. And I always say this is the time to bring your husband to be sure it's not selective hearing loss. And it's free. And anyone who would like to come is more than welcome. There are also inside at Frigo Hall, there are probably 12 or 15 other entities, agencies that will be talking about things, and it's all senior related. So anyone who would like to come there on the 17th, like I said, 9 to 12:30, but if you want to get your hearing tested for free or hearing screened for free, Lions will be there. Second thing is, congratulations to one of our Westmont Lions, Chris Vitek, who's also one of our officers with the fire service. At the district convention this last weekend, Chris received the highest award that can be given by the district. Our Lions district composes of all of DuPage, most of McHenry, some of Lake and some of Will County, I think some of Kane County, but it's the same award, Mayor, that you got a few years back, which is the Lazansky Award, which is named after the first governor in District 1J back in the 50s. Chris was honored to receive that award, and of course, we're real proud of him. The last thing with the Lions Club, actually, there's two more things with the Lions, but the last thing is Memorial Day weekend is the Red, White, and Barbecue, which everybody knows this will be our 12th year, but we have added something new. On Friday night, there's going to be a steak cook-off. So anyone who thinks they know how to cook steaks, you can get a hold of me or get a hold of Chris or anybody else in the Lions Club, and we'll tell you how you can join or how you can enter and cook steak on Friday night. And there's $1,000 worth of prizes just for the steak cook-off. So something new, and everyone is more than welcome. And then the last thing with the Lions Club is to talk about when they were talking about the trip to Taiwan. There were several Lions in the entourage that went, including our mayor, and Lion Larry Forsberg, and Lion, who else went?
Tom Mulhern.
That's right, Lion Tom and Lion John Carish. And they visited with the Lions Club there and have suggested to them that the Westmont Lions, we do a thing similar to Sister City, only that we call it twinning. So the request is out for us, the Westmont Lions, to twin with the Lions Club in Taiwan. It would solidify what we're doing with the Sister City program, and hopefully they will acquiesce to that. And so we're looking forward to that. And then last is DuPage mayors and managers. We met at the end of last month, and I gave a report to all of you, and I think we looked at 136 bills that were somehow involved with municipal involvement. There's another probably 1,000 that didn't include us, but a lot of bills are being submitted. Whether they get, I think, as I said in my report, whether they get a lot of traction or not in this an election year is still to be seen. But I'll keep you informed. We'll be meeting again on Tuesday, the 24th in the morning. So I'll keep everybody informed. And that's it, sir.
Thank you. And we'll move over here to Trustee Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start this evening with something that's pretty special. The Environmental Improvement Committee had a presentation. It's kind of a combination. We have a member here from the Environmental Improvement Commission. Brittany from the library is here with a group of National Honor Society students from District 201, and they're here to talk to us about a project that's going on in the library. So if everybody would like to come up to the podium over there, tell us what you're up to. The girls are a little shy.
So I'll do a brief intro, and then I will let them take it away since they are the important ones here. I'm here from the library, and also Justin, one of our adult services librarians, and we are actually starting let's get this a little more center, a seed library. So a little bit ago, the National Honor Society students came to the library and said, we want to partner with you guys, we want to do something for the community, and it was a great opportunity for us to bring something we had been thinking about to life with their help, which is a seed library. There's a few libraries in the area that currently do this. Downers Grove and Indian Prairie are two examples. And I have here, we can pass these around, little invites for everyone. So we thought this was a great way to combine the school districts, the library, and also the village with the Environmental Improvement Committee, and really fulfill like two major goals that the library tries to always strive for. One, being involved with all of our other taxing bodies and entities, and also to try to fill a niche for the community that maybe they don't have. So to be able to provide a seed library and to kind of start bringing the community together when it comes to gardening and growing seeds, especially now I'm not going to remember the name, seeds that are particular for this area to really strive was a great opportunity for us. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let the students introduce themselves, and they're going to really go into what we're going to be doing, what you'll see on Earth Day, and kind of what you'll see in the future.
Hi, I'm Cherish. This is Anita, Leslie, Katie. So together, our NHS group is called Sentinels of Service, and like she said, for a service project, we wanted to just see something with a lot of longevity that allowed us to give back to the community in an environmentally friendly way, so yeah. That's all I have.
Basically, how this all works is we had one of our team members, Ashley Lilsberg, she's not here right now, but she actually contacted the library, and we gave them a pitch, and they helped us pick another, like a similar pitch to it, which was the seed library. And basically what we have to do is we have this section found in the library where we have these seeds to start with. Usually we were intending to do native seeds so we could keep the agricultural in Westmont native to us. Here's the little mock-up of what it will look like. It's actually a slate found posted up on a wall at the bottom of the library, and what it contains, it will have the seed packets that you can see here, information about our seed library and how it all works in brochures found here. And then we also will have some books explaining on how gardening works, and see if you can start your own garden with this.
It's part of a larger project to get a lot of our, if you're familiar with our maker space, the Makery, and more hands-on projects. So it'll be side by side with that information. So that is actually, the board is actually up, so you can see it already.
Oh, nice.
Not the little components of it, but our slat wall is up, finally. Who's next?
The students have done such a wonderful job. My name's Justin. I'm an adult services librarian at Westmont Public Library, and I'm a part of the Makery Committee. And when I started at the library, I became involved with the Makery and everything that we do, and I've always been interested in gardening, and I thought that this would be the perfect time to really, get that going and provide a space in the community where people can come together, borrow seeds from us, and be able to go home, plant those, and then maybe in the future bring those back to be incorporated in the collection and make it a very self-sustaining collection. And I was very lucky to have the National Honor Society group here come to me just around that time and, make it happen. Just the other day, this is kind of a work in progress. Just the other day, we started packaging the seeds. Right now, we have the Tier 1 seeds packaged and ready to go for Earth Day. We have the tomatoes, the peas, the beans, and the lettuce. So those are all going to be ready, and on Earth Day, people can come to the library and take those seed packets home with them.
Since the librarians have helped us so much with the project, we hope to partner up with NHS volunteers so that not so much weight is just only put on the librarians, so that students themselves can come and help with packaging and take some weight off of librarians, so that's a fun project and not just the stressful one that makes them worry about it. It's students are coming and helping as well.
And we hope to, after we graduate, to have other students involved in NHS come back and work with the librarian to keep this going. Yeah.
And, since we're called the Progressive Village and we saw that other towns were doing it, anything they can do, we could do better.
I did bring some seeds. These are just some of the packaged seeds we got from the Legacy Seed Library. We've been working with them to start our seed collection, and they were very, very nice and very helpful. They're going to be continuing to help us throughout this process and kind of get this up and out of the ground, like I've been saying. But I do have some seeds with me now, if anyone wants to take those home and start their garden.
I think Larry, if you want to, we could pass those out later if you want to grab those.
Yeah.
He'll keep them, but.
Larry's gonna have the best garden around after this.
Thank you.
But good, it's a great,
Yeah, it's
great
awesome.
project, and it all started with the environmental.
Well, it started with them, actually, it started with them, but they came to us and presented, and of course, the environmental committee was all over it and thought it was wonderful. And I see those students and I say, future members of the environmental improvement, I don't know that we have an age limit there, so. But we're very excited for them, and it's a great partnership. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Joe started his tomato plants already, they're on the, it saves, his parents would always save the seeds.
Yes.
It's all right.
This is awesome.
Mayor, could I ask a question
You can.
of either the teacher or one of the students? How are you guys going to need any funding for this?
So the library's backing a lot of funding per se, but I think really funding is gonna be more marketing materials and making the display itself friendly and inviting and having people come up to it. We've got seats donated to us from.
Yeah, so right now.
Could you come to the microphone, please?
Yeah.
We can't pick.
Yeah.
Yep. Get back on TV.
So for right now, we did get a pretty large inventory of seeds to start us out, and that was from the Downers Grove Legacy Seed Library. And soon we will be getting seeds from an organization called Herman's Garden, and that's through the Seed Savers Exchange, which we are becoming a part of too. We will also be creating a profile as soon as they're up and ready with the Community Seed Network, which will make our presence known within our community, but also tie us in with seed libraries from across the country too. So we'll be able to have that networking option as well. But yeah.
And the library itself has kind of built into our budget things like pamphlets, marketing materials, really just the information that we think we're gonna need for programming, and really get the word out to the community. I also think that with the Environmental Improvement Committee, we'll really think about programming to partner with the library to promote the Seed Library, but also promote things according with the Seed Library to really get the word out there and get people continually interested in trying new things.
I
Thank you
cannot,
very much.
you heard me say this, and I'll continue to say it. The library has really become a valuable asset in this community.
Thank you.
Wasn't always the case, but I see what I call it a program guide or brochure, all the different activities you offer and the things you do in a community. I got to congratulate you.
Thank you.
And that was really, for mine, was really a Lions Club question, so don't forget us if something.
Oh, of course.
I think this is great, and I think something they would jump on.
Great, that's good to know.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the kind words.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do have a few more things. The environmental group is very active and very involved and very passionate about the environment, as we're going to learn a little bit more later. But they are currently coordinating an annual tree seedling giveaway. There's 4 types of seedlings available, and those will be given out on Friday, April 27th, which is Arbor Day, at the library from 1 to 5. And you can sign up for those seedlings online at westmont.illinois.gov. And then the library, working with the Environmental Improvement Committee, is also the facility where we're hosting a green speaker series as we talk about. The next presentation is beautiful gardens for pollinators. And I believe that, I don't have the date on here, but anyway, that's coming up very soon. I believe it's next week. And then we have our meetings on the first Monday of the month. May 7th is our next meeting. And lastly, to wrap up with the Environmental Improvement Committee, is it's becoming very apparent that we're having a dry spring and a dry winter. The village has invested in, thousands of dollars in parkway tree plantings, and we're finishing off several years with the emerald ash borer. There are trees out there from the last 3 years or younger. There's actually a number of new plantings going on this year to wrap that all up, but those trees require a lot of water. So there are what is called a gator bag on that tree. And we've asked anybody that has that tree in their parkway or near their house that they can get 20 gallons of water in that gator bag, and that would last the tree, that's a minimum, that would last the tree a week. But it's very dry. I think we're supposed to get some substantial rain last night. We got nothing. Anyway, so please pay attention to that as a resident and water those parkway trees and take care of them, because the drought is really gonna hurt them. And then to go back to Westmont First Committee, we again have a big April planned. We have a meeting on April 16th. And the response to this has been very good. So I'm excited about our upcoming meeting. It's to address with service organizations, the work of the service organizations here and the volunteer need that they have to make a lot of these organizations function. So we're gonna have a roundtable discussion at the library on April 16th at 6 p.m. And I've asked a number of people to come. I've been inviting now for several weeks, and most everybody's telling me yes. So that's a positive sign, and we're hoping to have a good discussion there on the 16th. And then the other thing that we're doing that was kind of related to several village committees, but Westmont First had a discussion about a mural project. And the mural project has been put on the village website to take a survey, and we've asked residents to take that survey and tell us how they feel about an outdoor public mural that is part of a bigger conversation for public art here in Westmont. So that's available online if anyone would care to respond to that. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Little.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of items. The first Thursday board meeting of every month is the Administration Finance Committee meeting. We had one tonight, and some of the topics, I'll be brief, were sister city update, social media, staff protocols, resolution to support legislation to raise tobacco age to 21, and discussion of liquor license classification updates. Next item is Westmont special events and more. The Westmont Spring Senior Festival will be held tomorrow, April 13th, at the Westmont Senior Center from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. Larry, do you have a flyer for that? Thank you. There are music, refreshments, door prizes for the first 30 attendees, health screenings, create your masterpiece at our craft table, speakers on timely topics, raffle prizes, and just want everybody to come out because senior citizens are very important to us all. And it's all about aging well. You can visit westmont.illinois.gov for a list of businesses and organizations scheduled to participate. Next item is Westmont Cruising Nights and Street Fair starts June. So make sure you mark your calendar for every Thursday night in June, July, and August. This year we have 13 cruising nights scheduled. So a lot of fun in the downtown area for all of us. And the last item is the Taste of Westmont is July 12th through the 15th. And we will need a lot of volunteers. And I hope you go to the Westmont special events website and sign up for volunteering for all of our events. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And we'll conclude with Trustee Nero.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items. I wanted to let everybody know that next Tuesday, the Westmont Junior High is hosting a Community Speaks event. There's going to be multiple discussions going on. I'm going to be facilitating one on sustainability with all different students and community folks, parents, and just another good program by the principal and assistant principal at the junior high to really get people engaged in some topics and discuss some things to improve on. So looking forward to that. Again, it's Tuesday at 6 o'clock at the junior high. And then next, I want to congratulate the ladies team of Hydrant Hysteria for winning recently. It was Jill Ziegler, Community Development Director, and Shannon Sullivan in the fire department. And I've seen this done live, not the women, but I've seen the men do it, and it's pretty intense. I wouldn't even want to try it. I'd probably get hurt. But good job, ladies. That's great. I like the picture, too. But moving on, even bigger news, I want to recognize one of our employees who I've known for a long time. I was thinking about it on the way here tonight, and I think it's almost 8 or 9 years or so. But tonight we recognize our Public Works Director, Mike Ramsey, for receiving the George Warren Fuller Award from the American Water Works Association. The award was given in recognition of Mike's unselfish commitment to the improvement of the water industry and for his long-standing dedication to and understanding leadership in the AWWA. Mike has worked in the profession since age 15 and has been full-time with the Village of Westmont Public Works Department since 1986. He was promoted to director in 2015, and he's currently the chair of the MAC Committee and the Competitions Committee for AWWA, and is a Class C and D water operations instructor for Illinois' AWWA. He is a Class A certified IEPA water operator and one of two Association of Board Certified Water Operators. In 2013, Mike created this competition that the ladies won, Hydrant Hysteria. It's now a statewide competition in which teams of two race to assemble a fire hydrant. In 2015, he was awarded the AWWA Gimmicks and Gadgets Award for developing the light up valve key, and in 2017, he started the Model Water Tower Building Contest here in Westmont. Mike was recognized as the AWWA Water Professional of the Year in 2014 and was awarded the Clifford E. Ford Award in 2017 for being the State of Illinois Water Operator of the Year. The village congratulates Mike on this recognition and thanks him for his dedication to excellence. We're lucky to have you, Mike. Congrats.
You've seen this before, right?
Took it off his wall.
Here we go, 1, 2,
Speech.
I just want to say, it's nice to get recognized by your peers and other entities, but you know what? I mean, it goes back to when I started here at the Village. I mean, I would not be in the position I'm in right now without a lot of help, a lot of great employees over the years. I mean, like I said, I started here actually when I was 15 years old as a seasonal employee in 1982. And I mean, it's just been a great experience my entire life being here. So I really appreciate everything the Village has done for me, because I definitely wouldn't be in the position I am without the Village. And I've done my whole career, I've done to try to give back what you guys have given back to, what you've given to me. I've been trying to give it back to the Village. So I really appreciate everything that the Village has done for me for all these years. So thank you very much.
Good. Congratulations.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, well, guess what? I forgot something this time. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to attend the ceremony for James Robinson, who is our own Medal of Honor recipient. Yesterday marked his 52nd year from being killed in combat. And as they read our American Legion Post 338 organized it. It was at the Clarendon Hills / Westmont Cemetery. And it was well done. I have to compliment the Legion and, of course, their commander, Frank Trout, for honoring Robinson. And this is something that we didn't even realize until the last several years. So they're making every attempt to have him remembered. They got a request in right now to Peter Roskam's office to name the post office for him. So we'll keep you informed of that. So that is the last thing, so we'll move on. Anybody want any of the items removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'd ask Manager May to read.
Tonight, first item on the consent agenda are village board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held March 15, 2018. This is followed by finance ordinance number 23 in the amount of $2,439,463.59. That is followed by purchase orders. First purchase order for Genesis Surveying and Engineering, $25,000. That's it's an encumbering purchase order. Represents work on the 2017 upgrade of the benchmark survey network. Second purchase order, West Central Municipal Conference, $132,677. This is for the tree replacement order for this spring's planting. Next, Corin, Maine, LP, in the amount of $49,195. That represents water meters and related supplies in conjunction with the meter replacement program. Next, we have Benestar Hartford, $108,000. This is also an open PO. It represents the funds we paid by retirees through the pension, their pension payment. It's an open purchase order. These will be invoiced monthly thereafter. Lastly, as far as purchase orders, we have Clark Environmental, Mosquito, $79,520. That is also an open purchase order for the annual contract for 2018. Those are made in for installments as the time comes throughout the year. It brings the total of purchase orders to $394,392, and therefore the total of purchase orders and finance ordinance number 23 is $2,833,855.59. Last on the consent agenda is a proclamation. Proclamation is board to consider a proclamation to declare April 15 through 21, 2018 as National Volunteer Week in the Village of Westmont. That concludes the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Addington.
Motion been made and second on the question. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to new business. A, 23 West Quincy Street, Vibrant Credit Union. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following request from Victor A. Realty Partners LLC to allow the operation of a bank and ATM in the B1 Limited Business District. 1, special use permits to allow a bank and ATM, and 2, a development permit. I've got Director Ziegler.
Thank you, Mayor. Vibrant Credit Union is moving here from Westchester. They're requesting these approvals so that they can move in right across the street into an existing space that was previously used for a bank. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing last night, and they received a unanimous positive recommendation. We moved the business quickly through the approvals process because it's a straightforward request, and they want to get moving quickly in the space. I included some attachments about the business, including awards such as being a certified great workplace, a top 5 credit union to work for in the United States, and a top place for young professionals to work. So I'd like to welcome Vibrant Credit Union to our downtown and to the business community.
Do I have a motion?
Motion by Addington to approve.
Second, Barker.
Motion made and second to approve. On the question. Anybody?
Is the gentleman here?
Well, then.
Oh, we would love to have a free commercial.
Yeah. He had to sit through all our stuff. There you go.
My name is Derek Thurston. I am the facilities manager for Vibrant Credit Union.
I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here tonight. Our headquarters are out of Moline, Illinois, and like she said, we currently have a location in Westchester, and we are looking to move that location here to Westmont.
When you plan on opening?
It's all about the approval process, and once we get approved, we're looking at about a 60 to 90-day turnaround.
And how many staff members do you think you'll have there?
We'll have 4.
Four
Branch
there?
manager and 3 tellers.
In the previous location, they had a cash station outside. Is that something you guys would look to do also?
ATM.
ATM, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm dated.
Nope, it's okay. Yep. ATMs and cash stations have come a long ways. We would go with a ATM. It would be a brand new unit.
Any additional comments? Then I'd ask for roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, look forward to
Thank you for
your
your time.
opening. Thank you.
I think it'll be the first credit union we've had.
Yeah, I can't remember. New business B, 6101 South Cass, and Fire Department Headquarters Stormwater Management Project. Addendum 2, board to consider an ordinance authorizing an addendum, number 2 proposal from ESI Consultants for additional surveying and Phase 2 engineering design services for the 6101 South Cass and Fire Department Headquarters Stormwater Management Project. And I'm going to ask Manager May to comment on this.
Well, the project is the stormwater management project at 6101, which is the detention basin at the fire department. You will recall is already under design to remodel that and combine it, how it interacts with the Benenford Basin, all of which we inherited together. This amendment is for engineering services to include the work that we now want south of the basin to run storm sewer, minor basin improvements, but run the storm sewer line to the south to pick up territories further south. So this is for the engineering services for that amendment.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion made and second to approve. Additional comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business C, resolution to support the Tobacco 21 initiative. Board to consider a resolution supporting the DuPage County and State of Illinois legislation to raise the legal age to purchase tobacco products. And I've got Trustee Addington to give us some additional information.
This is an initiative that started with DuPage Mayors and Managers Legislative Committee, and basically it is asking for the non-home rule communities to support a resolution that would go on to the county and especially to the state of Illinois to create some uniformity in the law. Right now, communities that are home rule can restrict the sale of tobacco products to the age of 21. Non-home rules communities cannot. And so, if, for instance, Naperville has a 21-year-old ordinance, but you could drive 5 minutes to get out of town and you can buy cigarettes at a younger age. So really, this is something that we feel needs to go in front of the state legislature. And so as a non-home rule community, we would be supporting the initiative to ask the state to make it a statewide uniformity. That makes it easier for all of us to enforce as local communities.
Do I have a motion to approve
I'll
the
make the
resolution? Trustee Addington made the motion.
Second, Little?
Second, Little. Additional comments or question? I think Trustee Barker commented to committee, and I'll let you hit an opportunity to say it again.
Yeah, well, I'll say it, I do think it's overreach, but if the state goes there, I'm happy to support that. Everybody knows that it's bad news to use tobacco, even though it's a, long-standing tradition in this country. But if the state wants to change the age to 21, I would support that.
Any additional?
And this may be something for the chief, but does that include like these vaporizing type things? Is that included in there also, you think? Is that considered a tobacco product?
No, it's not.
I thought that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I meant, and I know you were not here, I think, when we talked about it, but one of the things they mentioned at Mayors and Managers Conference, we got this from the County Health Department and from the American Heart Association, is there are some surveys and studies are starting to come out with these vape stores and the e-cigarettes, and what they're finding now is young teenagers who are using the e-cigarette or the vape products because they're not controlled. That a higher percentage of those young people, when they get to the age of 18 or 21, are smokers than the ones who never used it. So I think part of what is being presented at the state level is to put some control on those stores. I saw in the newspaper this morning that the city of Chicago passed an ordinance that at least they're putting those signs on these stores that say, giving them a warning for using the non-tobacco type product. So it's an initiative, at least we want people to be aware, and if it would pass, then at least there'd be some uniformity, so you can't go from town to town and you got a different situation.
Any additional comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Neal.
Motion passes. New business D, Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, Greenest Regions Compact 2. Board to consider ordinance adopting the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, the Greenest Regions Compact 2. And I think Trustee Barker will give us some additional information.
It's an environmental night here tonight. So again, this was something that was brought out by the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, and then it was through committee and then back over to the Environmental Improvement Committee. When I became chairman, I was able to review this and try to understand what it's all about. But it really is, bless you, it really is a environmental sustainability master plan. And this group of the Mayor's Caucus was started by Richard Daley in 1997, and they had this idea that they would do things in cooperation with each other. So that caucus is 275 cities, villages, and towns here in Illinois in this area. And they put together an environmental master plan from other master plans that had been developed to deal with the environment, and that's what is here for us tonight. This thing is so thorough, it's like 40 pages of documentation with 10 different subgroups. Everything you can think about environmentally is in there, and there's over 1,100 goals to obtain dealing with the environment in various areas. The environmental group loves this document. We're using this as an assessment tool to find out where we are. And, you know, just like the strategic plan goes throughout the things we do in their village, we hope that this GR2 would go through the village and what we do. In fact, I just introduced this to a new friend of mine over at the Park District, and we're going to challenge the District 201 to take a look at this document also and bring that throughout the community. But we're very, very pleased to bring that to you tonight and hope that we have the support for it.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Little.
Second, Nero.
Motion made and second to approve the ordinance. On the question, my only comment would be that our environmental committee, Westmont First, do tremendous work, and this is another example of them digging into it and researching it.
Yeah, Mayor, I would like to compliment John Yater, our forester, phenomenal. He and Brittany that was here earlier.
She's still here.
She's still, well, she's decided to stay.
Waiting to see if you mention her.
They do great work on our behalf. And, you know, John isn't here tonight, but he really has his finger on the pulse of what the environmental things need to be, and we're very lucky to have him.
Yes. Seeing no other questions, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to E, purchase of real estate. Board to consider an ordinance approving a real estate contract for the purchase of 509 North Grant Street in Westmont by the village. Manager May or Attorney Zemanek? One of you.
Well, the description sums it up. The village has negotiated a real estate contract to purchase 509 North Grant. For perspective, we already own what is a vacant lot, 505 North Grant. But these are properties adjacent the stormwater management facility behind the police fire station at 500 North Cass. So this is being acquired, and it is specifically for the efforts to further mitigate stormwater impact in that neighborhood.
And that area is one of the top 5 as
Yeah, maybe top 2.
top 2. But as far as when the Stormwater Committee
Yes.
looked at it, this is one of the prime peak areas that we need stormwater management, so.
It's a friendly purchase. The property became available and the homeowner is moving, so.
Good. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second Guzzo?
Motion made second. Any additional comments?
Is there a 507 grant, or does it go from 505 to 509 there?
There is a property in between, yeah.
There will be one still in between?
Still useful. This one wraps around the north end of the basin, so even just the backyard has got great value to us.
Any additional? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business F, expense reimbursement. Board to consider a motion to waive fiscal year 2017-18 expense reimbursement limit not to exceed $3,000 to authorize an overage not to exceed $1,000. And I'm going to turn to Director Parker for additional information.
As the board may recall, about a year ago, the state came out with some new guidelines that we needed to pass in a new travel and expense reimbursement policy. As part of that, the board had to establish a limit above which the board would need to approve travel expenses. So just like there's a limit for purchase orders, anything over 20,000 comes to the board, limits for lot coverage, we now had to add a limit for travel expenses. And the way that it's set up is once travel expenses related to an individual employee exceed a certain dollar amount in a fiscal year, then it would come to the board. So the dollar amount that we chose about a year ago was $3,000. We are now in the last month of the fiscal year, and it seems like we picked a pretty good number. We have one employee that is exceeding that $3,000 amount. We are still waiting for the final costs of the latest travel to come in, but right now the estimate is that that employee's total expenses for the fiscal year comes to $3,208. And so with that, we're having the board approve this. Since we don't know the exact dollar amount, we don't want to have to come back to you again at the next board meeting to authorize it again. We're asking for a total not to exceed of $1,000 at this
And
point.
this will be just for this fiscal year.
Yes, so then the $3,000 would start over again on May 1st.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Barry?
Second, Nero.
Motion been made and second to approve. Additional comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Motion passes. New business G, fiscal year 18-19 budget. Board to consider a resolution to adopt the fiscal year 2018-2019 budget. And this is from our budget workshop a week ago. We went over, and I'm going to ask Director Parker to give some additional information.
So I definitely plan to take a lot less time tonight than I did last week. So for the benefit of the public, the village board spent a good 3 hours at a workshop last week going into a lot of detail on the budget. I'll just cover it in very high-level terms, primarily for the benefit of the public. So the budget includes total expenditures of $55,523,927. In terms of overall comments, one of the things that we've done over the last couple of years is take all of our expenditures and think about how they apply to the village's strategic plan. So we looked at the different components of the strategic plan and have identified all of our expenditures and how they work towards that mission, which is shaping a vibrant community and future through connection, service, and leadership. In addition, in terms of financial responsibility, the two main things we look at in terms of the budget are, one, is the money we're bringing in covering the money that we're spending in general each year? And then secondly, do we have enough set aside in savings? And in both of those cases, the answer is yes. We've managed to get our operating expenditures covered by our operating revenues. At the same time, we've been able to maintain our targeted balances. In terms of revenues, the village is continuing to see some growth in both sales tax and construction permits. Both of those are good indicators for the economy of our village, so that's a good thing. In terms of expenditures, some of the high-level items that might be of interest to some of the public would be, we're including a variety of stormwater management projects, tree replacement and tree trimming, gateway and wayfinding signs, landscaping along the railroad corridor, work on Richmond Gardens, and then in the downtown, resurfacing of Cass and Burlington, which was added at the budget workshop meeting, and then continued alley reconstruction. So it's just a very, very small and brief overview of the meeting that we had. Anyone who's interested should be able to access that meeting through our website. Additionally, we'll have a summary of the budget uploaded to the website probably by the end of the week. And then, as you're aware, over the next several months, we had a bunch of additional information that is suggested by the Government Finance Officers Association. So probably around October or so, we should have a very comprehensive version of the budget uploaded to the website as well. But in the interim, we have the summary version.
And just as a summary of this, our operating expenses for next year are balanced again our incoming revenue. So that's huge as far as we're not deficit spending. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion made in second to approve. Any additional comments?
I would like to compliment the staff and Spencer for the great job that they did. That was, every year it gets better and better as a meeting. Even though it was 3 hours long, it didn't feel like it. So thank you.
I think our first year when we, 5 years ago.
3 days.
Was 2 or 3, yeah, so.
Yeah. And Spencer, of course, by putting it together and making a presentation, but all our staff took the initiative to look at their budget, to trim it, to make it work, Manager May, so I compliment the entire staff.
The great thing about Spencer is he makes it so guys like myself can understand it. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate it, and just a great job, Spencer. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes?
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
Motion passes. Miscellaneous. Anybody forget anything? Trustee Barker.
I forgot 2 things, and they're both environmental.
Oh, boy.
I neglected to say that the bees are back at Richmond Gardens. The bees are back. And you can follow Richmond Gardens, Richmond Educational Gardens on Facebook. So please do that, but there's some things, really good things happening over at Richmond Gardens. And then lastly, we are taking signups at the village website for storm drain stenciling. That is gonna happen with the help of Director Ramsey over there. We do have some signups. We need more. That is April 28th from 9 to 12, and we'll go out and stencil storm drains. And we are gonna meet out here in front of Village Hall as we have in prior years. So if anybody can join us or send us a couple of softball or baseball teams, we're happy to have them. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional comments? Addington, had his hand up first, trustee Barry.
Well, it just, I noticed here, I forgot to mention that at our next village board meeting, at first at 4:30 will be community development, so I forgot to mention that. And that will be interesting because it's springtime and there will be permits, discussions about new permits and things that'll be happening. So a lot, maybe some new stuff, as well as code enforcement, bringing us up to date on a couple other things. So be there or be square.
Yeah, but everybody's welcome to attend.
Absolutely.
Trustee
Thank you,
Barry.
Mr. Mayor. I know Jenny had commented on, but I do have my raffle tickets this evening, so village attorney, anyone, Larry McIntyre, anyone who would want to see me, I do have them with me this evening, so thank you, Mr.
For
Mayor.
the raffle, Rotary's
I
raffle.
have some too.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
If seeing no other information, I'm going to ask the board to adjourn to closed session, to discuss matters as permitted, and they're going to discuss the following. 1, the purchase of property for the use of village pursuant to Section 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act. 2, setting the price for the sale of real estate owned by the village pursuant to Section 2C6 of the Open Meetings Act. And 3, pending litigation to discuss Royal Hills Club Condemnation Association versus Westmont pursuant to Section 2C12 of the Open Meetings Act. I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn for those reasons. Nero?
Second, Guzzo.
Motion made and second. I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
We are going to recess or adjourn to executive session. When we come out, there will not be any further business. So at this point, we're going to go into executive session. Thank you.